Hey guys, Zane Hyde here from the Nexus Schoolhouse, bringing you another Over Explained. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bruisery, kind of a tank, but not really because I'm dealing so much damage, Muradin. Level 1, we're going to offer Perfect Storm, 4 Sledgehammer, 7 we're going to go for Skullcracker, 10 Haymaker, 13 we're going to offer Thunderstrike for that additional single target burst damage, 16 Dwarf Launch so that we can sail right over our opponents gracefully, and 20 if we get there we'll opt for Grand Slam or Rewind or Hardened Shield. It really just depends on context. All three of these are fantastic options for you. As we beginning of the game, you have a pretty simple, pretty straightforward game plan as Muradin. You're just looking to control the Tribush on Dragonshire, and you can see me immediately posturing for this Tribush. I'm going to throw a blind Q into that bush. We're going to hit the Muradin, good stuff. And we're going to immediately start trying to control this Tri. Now, what controlling the Tri means is having knowledge, firstly, of what's inside of it, having knowledge of what's going through it, and being able to prevent or harass or slow down your opponent's rate of going through the Tri. So right here, we're drawing all their attention away from this minion wave, right? They're drawing attention over to me. And because of that, our opponents are clearing a little less efficiently than they should be. They go on the Chromie there. I jump on over to help. I do miss my stun. That would have killed the Falstad, but he ends up going into a time trap, so he's dead anyway. Fantastic stuff right there. And we see the mid wave is now crashing into our towers. We're able to just wander right on over and catch that EXP. So Dragonshire has 3 primary positions. The off lane is the obvious one top. Mid laner is the one who holds mid and ideally out rotates and out clears the opponent mid laner, but you sometimes will be forced to catch it on towers if, such as on Muradin, you just don't have any wave clear. And then the final position is bot, and bot tends to be an anchor lane where you just have somebody who sits there all day, pretty much never leaves the spot, pretty much never rotates out. Hanzo's a fantastic example, Junkrat's a fantastic example, Genji's good at mid, as well as Maiev. The really mobile heroes really like the mid lane. Right here, we're just going to rotate back and forth with our Sonya, so I'm just going to escort her up and down because I know there are multiple enemy heroes on this side. We do see the Zul'jin rotates the aggressive side. I'm going to wait for him to go into that choke before I throw my Q, and then I'm going to use my E to get a little bit of bonus damage to make sure that I get the kill in time to get the bonus stacks. We are sitting at 6 stacks of our Q now, fantastic place to be, 3 stacks of Perfect Storm. I do see the enemy Kihira rotating down through this little choke. I look to do a little bit of damage onto her. I don't really care about taking HP damage on this hero because I do have my second wind that allows me to heal right back up. We do a long jump, try to find the Kihira right here. Good QW, and there's another 3 stacks. Fantastic stuff so far. We're just going to look to either I base or I tap here. I'm not quite sure which. Okay, we are going to opt to completely base here. We don't want to waste our tap. When our resources are so critical. We really need to full bar on mana as quickly as possible. Just going to go back to my camera view right here. And then we're going to pick up our level 4 talent. We're a full half a level up on the enemy team right now. And we're doing a reasonable job controlling their rotations, kind of slowing them down, preventing them from getting away with murder. My team is doing a very fantastic job in the mid right here of pushing up, getting some siege damage as well. We're going to rotate into the bot with these 2 siege giants that we have going. I do look for the jump stone onto Falstad, but I'm just a little bit too slow to quite find it. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. It was an opportunistic jump stun anyway. We were unlikely to hit it. At this point in time, I see the Sonya coming back down. So again, I'm looking to goaltend the left side. I'm seeing if the Falstad is still roaming. He's not. I see Kira alone on that top point. I'm going to go harass her with my Sonya. I know she's right here, so I'm going to throw the blind stun. I managed to cancel her E, I believe. Find a W, find a few autos of damage. We're just going to find a little bit of a chunk right here. I do E forward just to find a little bit more damage. I think Sonya could have played a little bit more passively there so as to not trade HP. I throw a Q onto the globe minion so that I can secure the globe, and then I'm just going to rotate right on out. So far, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen, seeing what my team's doing. I know Falstad is rotating in, so they have a 4v3 on the bot side. Unfortunately, we do see our Vala dying, but I'm going to find a counter kill momentarily onto this enemy Falstad off a chunk coming from our Chromie. So fantastic, we managed to trade out 4v3. Good stuff for us. Sonya's going to rotate back into mid here to pick up that wave. And again, we're just tending to the Bermuda Triangle, right? We're going back and forth through Triangle, trying to make sure that the enemy isn't getting free rotations, trying to gank this top laner whenever we can. Muradin is a very simple hero on Dragonshire. Just gank pretty much is the name of the game, right? You're just looking for 2v1s, 3v2s, 4v3s, any situation where you can go up on the enemy hero. We do find the blind stun right there under the Kihira again. W, the E is coming out. She's going to spin, trying to escape. She does find the D, and then she does manage to disengage fully. I do see the Zul'jin coming in here. I'm just going to chuck a stun at him and then just walk away. I don't really trade well with this hero because he does tend to do a lot of damage, and giving him stacks is pretty much always a mistake when you can just look to avoid the hero entirely. Right here, we're just going to opt to look for the Falstad once again. I might look for a jump stun here, or I might look to bully for this globe. I do just barely miss the stun. I was quite disappointed by my Q right there. I really think that could have been done better. Right here, we're going to tap for resources. You never tap for HP on Muradin so much as you end up tapping for mana. This hero generally doesn't have HP issues, again, because of that second wind trait just healing you on up. We're rotating into top again to gank this Kira. Again, Sonya can't win versus this hero, so I have to be up here to make sure that this is somewhat balanced. I jump forward here and I look to stun the major point of damage, which is the Zul'jin, to protect my Sonya here. And right here, I'm just trying to get her out alive. I don't really care about the kills. I just want her to live. I'm going to stun this Kira right here, and then I'm going to auto attack, and I'm going to save myself and get out right there. Unfortunately, the Sonya ends up going down, not quite able to save her in time. But not the end of the world. We do manage to prevent any more damage. We manage to prevent them pushing in the top, and we don't die ourselves, which is always good. At this point in time, I'm going to go for a long jump stun onto Zul'jin. Just barely miss that. We're going to sidestep this route so that we don't get caught under towers. Nice try, Tiger. And then we're just going to run for our lives. We do see the Kira coming in on the right-hand side here. I'm going to look to stun any damage follow-up that I can. I do just find the DPS right there, and they immediately cleanse it. So we know their cleanse is down for 40 seconds, so any stuns I find are going to be a little bit permanent. Our Bala just barely manages to survive. That is an extremely squishy hero who has a very hard time trading into a Kahira, into a Tyraels. We do have the triple base right here. Looks very coordinated. All three of us basing with perfect synchrony. You do see the Falstad flying all the way to top, and this is just Dragonshire in a nutshell. You have a lot of rotations, there's a lot of movement, it's a very active map. Right here I was baited by my team into thinking they were on this camp. They weren't, so I just chuck a Q, let Vala finish the rest of it, and rotate into Bermuda. I'm in the triangle now, and now I'm looking to catch this mid-soak. I'm looking to go into the left side, potentially cut off this Falstad. I do know he's coming right here, so I'm going to chuck a blind Q in just a moment, and we're just going to hit him with that to get a free stack. We saw him rotating down the minimap, so we knew he was coming in. Right here, we're just going to mount up, look to bodyguard for our Chromie, and rotate down. Once again, just putting our camera just in front of ourselves. And we see this Malfurion is stuck in on this point. If we go right here and body block, there's no way for him to get out, so we know that's a kill 100% of the time. We do get the time stop, and I'm going to try to punch the Tyrael over to the right-hand side and try to find the finish on him. He is just barely going to get out, unfortunately, so I'm going to throw the stun onto the Zul'jin. We're going to find the second kill there. We do end up losing our Stukov, but all of our heroes are relatively healthy, so it's not the end of the world. Sonya is trading efficiently with the Falstad in the mid right now. She's finding very, very good damage onto that hero, and then she's going to rotate back into top, and I'm just going to see if I can finish off that Falstad. I do look opportunistically on the left side, and I see we can take the siege camp right here, so we are going to opt to steal it. Muradin is a fantastic siege hero with the Q1 and Q4. You're really good at taking siege giants, you're okay at clearing minion waves, and you're fantastic at chunking buildings. You really do a good job on that sort of stuff. I was looking here for his allies to see if there's anyone else nearby. I end up doing the punch into the wall, and at this point in time, there's no way for him to escape because he has messed up his D at minimum distance, so we guarantee that kill. I do think I could have positioned that Haymaker just a little bit better and pushed him into our towers instead, but tomato tomato, we still get the kill at the end of the day. It's just a little bit of perfectionism that we perhaps could have optimized. We're gonna go look to punch down mid gate here. I'm just gonna fast forward through the DK phase. There's nothing really special to talk about in the DK phase, right? There's kind of AFK punching the buildings. It's pretty straightforward. You all know how to punch buildings. Make a fist, aim, fire, right? Not that hard. Here we go back to the team fighting, and then we're going to fire one stun onto Tyrael. We're going to find the finish with the Haymaker, fantastic damage use, and then we're just going to jump out of the explosion. From here, the rest of the game is going to be relatively easy. I say relatively. The enemy is going to have a lot of opportunities to potentially catch back up, but we are able to cut most of them off. Both of us managed to miss our stun. They're pretty funny. Sonya and I both cocked that up. And then Sonya just barely isn't able to get out. I am able to do good damage onto the Falstad. I find the auto attack. I do believe I skullcrackered and actually interrupted his E right there, which was pretty good by me. And then right here, we're just trying to find damage onto Tiger. We do find the stun right there, and then I'm going to find the punch to finish him off. I'm going to jump onto the Falstad and find the Thunder Strike, the 13 proc, because I only hit a single target with my W. I get the 300% damage bonus, but I'm not quite able to finish him off through his shield, and that's okay. Not the end of the world. Again, we're going to rotate here, clear out this mid wave. Then we're going to rotate down, look to clear out that wave, and just get some push across the map. Dragonshire is really a very vision-heavy map. As long as you can control vision on this map, you're generally going to be in a good place. And again, we're basing for mana. Story of my life, frankly. It doesn't matter what hero I'm playing on, I'm always basing for mana. Probably says something about my mana management that this is happening so frequently, but we'll get to that another day. We'll talk about mana management in its own video. We do see the enemy team on the top side right here. Going to escort Sonya up. Maybe look for an opportunistic stun or two. If we can find a stun, great. If not, not the end of the world. Just looking for stacks, looking to increase our late game DPS. This is kind of the name of the game on Muradin. You can go very, very deep into the enemy backline and not really be punished at all. You can look for very aggressive trades in kind of crazy places like this, and it's not really going to cost you much. See, here's what I meant when I said I shouldn't be trading with this Zul'jin, because you can see I took a massive amount of damage right there just for a few seconds of trade, and they ended up firing the guillotine as well as the Kira ult in order to finish me off. We're just going to fast forward to when I come back up so that we can talk more about the Muradin gameplay than the rest of the game. Just fast forwarding on through here, and we do have the wards coming up from the Chromie, who did put time traps everywhere so that we could basically see everything that was coming. Tiger face checks his bush, and supports that face check bushes into Muradin's are called dead. So we're gonna get the finish right there. Gonna chuck a Q onto this Bruiser camp, able to finish it right on up, and then we're rotating forward. At this point in time, we've got 20 perfect storm stacks, 25 of our baseline quest stacks. We've got the cooldown reduction on auto attacks, so we're doing pretty good for ourselves. I'm just looking for anything that isn't Tyrael. Tyrael's a really hard hero to lock down, so unless I really think we're going to be able to 100 to 0 him, I'll just look for another target to CC instead. Right here, just looking for an opportunistic jump stun. I find one onto the Zul'jin. I do end up missing, unfortunately. I put the W on him, and then I just disengage him because they actually have more numbers than I expected, and I need to keep my team alive. I do get bopped here by the Twilight Dream, and unfortunately I am going to end up going down. That was a pretty big mistake by me to not control vision of that rotation in, and I also missed my stun on the Zul'jin initially, which is what led to that fight going so poorly. Had I hit my stun to begin with and then simply punched the Zul'jin into our towers, we would have been able to get the free kill pretty immediately, and that would have made it significantly more difficult for our opponents to find a turn in the capacity that they did. Mistakes like that being minimized are how you increase your win rate by very significant margins. You want to avoid mistakes that are that egregious. At any point in time where the game swings that aggressively, you generally know, hey, I cocked up in a big way. I need to make sure not to do this again in the future. Or if I am doing something this risky in the future, I need to get away with it by making sure I hit. Now, we do have the... Everything comes out to try to finish off the Falstad there, but we don't quite get him. He does get out on 2 HP. I am going to look to jump over here to protect my Chromie. I do find the Tyrael. I'm going to wait to stun until I see where he's going. Unfortunately, I do just miss the raw Q. That's okay. Tyrael is a very mobile target. Not the end of the world when we do end up missing him. I thought they might be on the Bruiser camp, so I just jumped onto it aggressively. They weren't. That's okay. We're going to rotate into the bottom side right here. Tyrael is just going to Q out, and he's actually just going to walk out the other side, which is fine because we're going to cap bot point and prevent the enemy team from capping our DK. Right here, we're just going to rotate back into mid. And again, name of the game is Muradin. Control the Bermuda Triangle, control vision, see what your opponents are doing, and just kind of stand around, look scary, right? You're a buff guy. You're basically working security at this point. You don't make enough money for the shifts that we're working. Honestly, I really think my manager could give me a raise. Like, please. Holy shit, I'm working so hard. Give me more money. Sorry, PTSD from working security just came back up. Anyway, Muradin. Fast forward through the tail end of the game here. Find an isolated pick onto the Kahira. This is much better than that pick on Zul'jin. You can see we definitely got this one locked right down. We're going to proc the Skullcracker and then look for the Q follow-up. And then we're going to punch into our team. We're going to jump onto him. I do immediately pick my 20. I do think I would have been better off with the punch upgrade or like either of the other 20s. But it's not really the end of the world that I autoed into the Hardened Shield. That is going to help me stay alive through the next few team fights. Right here, we're just going to pick up our DK, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, mosey on down to the bottom lane and start punching this keep in. We do burn from quite a distance here because we don't want to trade directly with the enemy team, but we are just going to lose this DK because we do have one dead, and it's very, very hard for us to protect our DK with one person dead. I punched the Malfurion out to potentially reduce the amount of healing that Tyrael is going to be receiving. I pop my Hardened Shield, and then I just look to jump out of the root. We do see my Chromie and my Vala get pushed into the root, unfortunately, and the Vala is 100% dead here. There's no way for us to save that. So at this point in time, we're just looking to get out of dodge. We want to live here. We want to be free. We want to survive, and we're able to just jump out, take our tap, and we're fine. Now from here on out, the game is going to be relatively straightforward. We just need to find picks as best as we can. We do find a pick right there, fantastic, and the enemy team does get a counter kill onto our Stukov, but as long as I have the Chromie, I have enough damage here to potentially kill anything that I get on. We do see I leap out as Sonya leaps in. We do find the finish onto the Malfurion, and I'm just going to go along the round. I'm going to go around the long way so that I can heal myself up. While we're waiting for our HP to tick up, we're just going to get closer in on the Kahira. Dun 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 dun, and the shark has found its mark. Right there, Sonya finds a fantastic last second trade, and she actually manages to survive somehow, which blew my mind when I saw it. And I believe we do manage to find the pick here onto the Tyrael in just a moment. He does commit to the right side, so I'm able to throw out my stun and be certain that it's going to hit. And then we do find the finish with the Skullcracker. At this point in time, it's an easy fast forward to the finish line. We're going to make a big bottom push right here. We're going to set up, take the DK, grab the DK, take it bottom, push bottom to the end, and we're just going to look to end the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Over Explained. Looking at Bruiser / Tank Muradin is a really enjoyable hero. He's really fun to play. He feels very rewarding to play, and you really do feel the improvement actively as you're getting better and better at hitting your Qs, predicting your opponents, and setting up your personal CC train in the form of your Q, your auto attack, your Skullcracker proc, and then finally your Haymaker. I really do enjoy this hero, and I'd recommend all of you tank mains who feel like you're not getting to play DPS enough, give this hero a shot. Do try yourself a bit of your Bruiser Muradin. Otherwise, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you on the Patreon, we'll see you on YouTube, and we'll see you in the Nexus.